What's going on, guys? It's a regular guy with the Regular Guy Firearms channel, and today I'm going to answer the age-old question that I get asked, and that a lot of dudes that do this get asked on a regular fucking basis. The AR or the AK platform? Which one's better? Which one would you suggest? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, I'm going to start on a limb here and say some shit like this. They're both pretty fucking awesome. I have fucked around with one of these since I was small, and I've shot them for years upon years. I mean, I can probably confidently say about 100,000 rounds through AR-type rifles, meaning military M4 types or otherwise. They work just fine. Okay. The myths surrounding both guns are stupid. Okay, like for instance, people say that ARs are unreliable. Well, that's fucking retarded, because there's no goddamn way I would have managed to get through 100,000 rounds without tossing the fucking thing into a damn lake if they were unreliable. They do just fine. They are war-worthy guns, so stop it. Okay. Another really funny thing is that dudes tend to say that AKs are inaccurate, right? Sorry, I've got witnesses. Doug VDH, who runs the VDH Tactical channel, will tell you. Jordan, otherwise known as FX Hummel on YouTube, can also tell you that with an AK behind the right guy, the things are fucking lasers. I mean, if I can stay inside the heart at 280 yards and 300 yards, that kind of renders this a moot point. Even if there is a tiny mechanical distance, honestly, if you can see it, you can kill the shit out of it, and that's the point. Another really big thing is that a lot of guys say that AKs are completely indestructibly reliable. That's bullshit too. There are a lot of badly made AKs out there, and there are a lot of AKs that I've seen go down like a motherfucker. Quality of builder. I mean, quality of builder, quality of parts, quality of operator. Okay? You do have to take care of these things. You do need to clean them. You do need to do maintenance and watch for shit that's getting ready to break. It's a machine, it's gonna fucking break. Okay? I mean, I know that for a lot of dudes this is the most common sense thing in the world, but for a lot of guys that watch this channel and have a strong preference for either or, your preference on the two is like the preference in ballistics between 940 and 45. They're pretty much the fucking same. Okay? They work great. They're both fucking crazy accurate, especially behind the trigger of a correct dude. They both have good merchandise and horribly shitty merchandise for both. And one of the leading culprits in shitty merchandise for the two are Pro Mag and Tapco. Stay away from those fucking dudes. You know, so that is what it is. But let's get into the real nit and grit and little shit about them both. And the little shit about them both and the reasons why I lean to one side rather than the other. Okay, so for instance, over the years I would have told you instantly, unanimously, this is the more ergonomic gun. Now, because these are Barbie doll guns, they are easy to accessorize. That's a true thing. That is a fact. Okay, and as far as snaking your safety on and off, they are a little bit easier. But I'll tell you something about these guns. As far as running charging handles and stuff like that, I am a charging handle guy. Lots of dudes know this. Lots of guys train the shit out of and use bolt releases on these guys, and they do it successfully. Not down in any of those dudes. But for my style of play, right? Having to run your charging handle in this manner instead of in this manner is kind of annoying to me. Now, have I figured that out over the years? Have I figured out how to do it well and quickly? And effectively, yeah, you guys have seen on video a million times. I've shot the crap out of these things. I do well, and the charging handle thing doesn't really bother me. But the location is a nitpicking thing for me. It does bother me a little bit. Okay. The next thing that kind of bothers me about these guns, especially AR type guns, is the straight insert. AR mags, right? The standard is 30 round mags, right? But the standard to loading those magazines is at 28. The reason why it's at 28 is if it's at 30, you got too much spring tension pushing up on a closed bolt, and it makes it harder to insert that magazine. So if you got to top off or something, you got to slam the shit out of it, or sometimes you just can't get it in at all. It won't seat. That's a fucking problem. If your magazines are topped off at 30 rounds, you should be able to jam a damn 30 round magazine in there and get it ready to go. Instead, we're going at 28 round magazines all the time for standard guns. 2 rounds short, does that really bother me? No, but it is a little thing. It irks me. We're talking about really nitpicky small shit right now. Okay. What I think is great about these particular guns is the recoil impulse in them, especially in DI guns, is straight and in line. And if you square up like you're supposed to on these guns, I mean, there is still a bunch of body mass in the fucking way when I got my eyes down on these sights. So the impulse is nice and flat. They don't jump around, even in the 308 versions, the 300 black, the 6.8s. They don't move around as much as the counterparts like the AKs and whatnot are concerned. So, you know, the recoil impulse is super light, super flat. So you can shoot these guys a little bit faster. Now, can I keep up with my 30 caliber gun within 2 rounds of this guy in 2 seconds? Yes. When I took fast and accurate, my 2-second time for a military trigger on my DDM4 V9, that was 12 rounds on a military trigger. My Norinco was AK-47 was 11 rounds in 2 seconds. So difference negligible. I mean, you can wrestle guns around and you can get it done. You know, so you know that's like the 2 things on that, and the controls are just a tiny bit faster if you're a right-handed dude. That's most of the world. Okay, now AKs. One thing that I do notice, and it is a little thing that can turn into a big thing, is that these guns are generally heavier. AKs do have a little bit of extra nose weight. They're not quite as balanced as these guns. Okay, so they can be a little heavy, and when you're trying to keep the thing at the ready forever on a target, it can get a little exhausting. Because if you're sitting here like this for 10 minutes, you're gonna get tired. That's just a fact. Okay. Another thing that annoys me a little bit about these guns is that they're harder to accessorize. Okay, like the little extension that I have on here for this. Okay, this guy was specifically made for this gun, so it would keep it straight and in line, so I don't have to worry about a freaking slant issue, and so I can keep my face straight and in line with the gun at all times. Okay, I also had to add another piece of fucking plastic on it just to get the right cheek height for this. Okay, now yeah, I can throw an Ultimac and stuff on there, but every piece of kit that anyone has ever gotten for an AK either goes together okay, or you have to do some fitting, because no AK is the same. That's a problem, and it's a little annoying. You know, we're talking about little shit. The second thing is that is safety. While it's not that big of a problem for me, being a lefty, I can just get this done, right? Right-handed guys, you're actually a little bit slower on this side. Okay, and we're talking like a microsecond slower. And if you sit there and train on it hard as fuck and go safety on, safety off, safety on, safety off, you can get it done. But they are like the tiniest amount slower to operate as far as just like safety. And that's, again, these are tiny things. I found out that for a lefty, doing reloads and stuff, I'm actually significantly faster than an AR, especially on a closed bolt, because I can just fucking yank out the old magazine, rock the new one in, run the bolt under whatever circumstance that there is. I don't have to do a tap-tug type deal, which you know for a fact you have to do on the straight insert gun. Okay, so There's a little bit on that. And another little annoying thing about AKs generally, and this is generally, is that they heat up a lot up here. Yeah, I found a way to mitigate that. I've got rubber ladders on this gun and a freaking AFG on there, and I touch the light. You guys see when I shoot, I touch the light constantly, so I can keep as much of my hand away from the steel junk as possible. But here's the thing, the whole time I'm adding shit to this gun, and its like nose heaviness becomes way more apparent, and you start to throw weight on a gun really quickly. So this guy is significantly heavier than my other 16-inch gun, which isn't in frame. This is my pistol. But my other 16-inch gun, which with all the doodads and Ninja 5 shit, is lighter significantly than this guy. Okay. Now, what are a few extra push-ups? You know, man up, take care of your shit. That's what a lot of people are going to comment in the little box below. But at the same time, nobody knows weight and the importance of lightening your shit up better than dudes with boots. You know, dudes that wear the green suits and do the ass-kicking thing for America. Ounces add to pounds, pounds add to pain. We hear that so fucking much. And it is readily apparent in the weapons. Okay? Everything about the AK is heavy. Okay? From the steel magazines to the damn ammunition to the long stroke piston up front to the steel everything that it's made out of, because these guys are made out of aluminum generally. Everything about an AK is heavy. So if you are going to go over to the AK guns, just understand you're going to have to do a few extra pull-ups to get to basically rate well enough to carry an AK all day, every day, any day. Another big thing that kind of a big thing also about AKs, sorry I lost my train of thought. Yes, AKs are superbly reliable guns. But when they do malfunction, and they fucking do, they malfunction really fucking hard. I think it's fairly safe to say that on a properly operating AK, you're going to have somewhere around I would say like a third less than malfunctions that you would have on a properly built AR. But here's the deal. When an AR goes down, it is rarely more than a tap, rack, bang type issue. Okay, it's just tap, rack, you're in business. Okay, which is kind of cool. I mean, and if we're really talking about the reliability and stuff like that, and if we're talking about running around using them as serious fighting implements and fucking diving into shit, we have to consider this. When a AK goes down, it goes down fucking hard. I mean, usually hard enough to where you have to kick the shit out of your charging handle to send that freaking bolt forward, or to yank out whatever the fuck was in there, fix your problem, fucking throw a new magazine in there and go to work. So while they're robust and while you'll probably experience fewer malfunctions than these guys do, not that much fewer, but fewer, when it malfunctions, it's going to go down really fucking hard. So if you get an AK, and if you go over to AK World, you better know your shit on AK malfunction clearance, because there is nothing really standard about an AK malfunction. It just, some fantastic shit has happened to AKs that I've seen in the past when they go down. So, you know, it is what it is. But here's the deal. You know, there's always like the verdict at the end of these, and they're always going to ask, well, which one do you prefer? Granted, they're both great guns. I've been using them forever, but here's the deal. I personally, I'm sipping really hard on the AK sauce. I'm beginning to go over to it completely, because anytime that I need a gun and I need to go somewhere, I usually grab this guy. And here's the reason why. They are well-working guns. I'm a lefty, so doing really simple shit like, what am I doing? Doing really simple shit like snapping on a target and coming back off, you know, that's really fast for me. Doing reloads is really fast for me also, and I don't have to worry about buying a whole bunch of extra shit to ambi the gun up because the switches are already here. I mean, as you can tell, I've only got a right-handed setup on this, but you know, guys like my buddy Sal or other dudes that have seen me take tactical response courses or cost to lose courses or whatever, and if I decide to bring the 30 caliber gun out, you know, the 30 caliber reload or the AK reloads are fucking spot on, you know, so it doesn't really matter to me. And honestly, the simplicity of which, I mean, yeah, it's a pain in the ass to throw something like a rail system on there because you might have to fit some stuff. Throwing a stock on there is kind of a pain in the ass and everything else. But to be honest with you, I really just like, I really, really, really dig only having to mess with these three up here. And all of them are pretty close. Meaning if I have to go from my safety to a charging handle to this, I don't really have to worry about very much. It's just for me, it feels more at home to run an AK than it is, in some ways, than it is to running an AR. And personally, one of the biggest reasons, honestly, is that little itty-bitty thing that we were talking about earlier. Instead of running 28-round magazines, running 30. Yeah, this is a 30-round magazine, and guess what? It hooks up just fine. You know, just little things tend to set the gun guy stuff apart. And honestly, it's just one of those things where I personally prefer this and this over that. You know, don't fucking kill me, but that is personally what I prefer. Are there real problems with either or? Fucking no. People that sit there and try to say, oh, well, the AR is a piece of crap or the AK is a piece of crap, have not shot enough to figure out the difference. I don't care what you say. I don't care how many names you list off from your DVD collection on the comments box below. You have not shot them enough to figure out what the difference is. Because I personally prefer an AK, and I will have no qualms whatsoever taking an AR or an M4 style rifle into combat. So these are my opinions. Don't fucking hate me. But I hope, because I'm not gonna ever end the dick measuring contest that is the AR versus the AK, nor am I going to end the caliber wars either. But I hope that with this video it will be an extra little fruit of knowledge in there, and another guy that's basically saying the arguments between the two are worthless. They're fighting implements. Just fight with the goddamn things and quit bitching about which one is better or not. But in any case, if you have any questions, concerns, or if you just want to bitch at me, go ahead and throw that in the comments below, or on the Facebook page, which I'll leave a link to in the description below. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my whole thing on the whole AR versus AK battle. Remember guys, a regular guy's firearm is the last defense against tyranny. Be easy.